Hello there, dear awakened ones. I'm Monica Bermudez, an intuitive quantum energy healer, coming on my YouTube channel to share this message and the themes for the full moon that is in Gemini. So I have 5 sacred keys that I want to share with you and themes of this energy and the progress and the ascension energies and updates that we're all going through. It's been a journey of many levels in us because we are multidimensional. So we always keep on expanding the more that we're able to let go of. And so the full moon energy, which is the last one for this year of 2022, every full moon offers an opportunity, right, to release, to let go of certain things that no longer serve us. So this can be in just many levels, right? It could be in the mental, the emotional, the physical, and anything that just is causing, that has been a block in your life that makes you feel heavier. So that's what these full moon energies offer, this opportunity. So that's why I want to emphasize and try to come on my YouTube channel to share more insight and intuitive download of information that I get specifically for the full moon and for the group, this group in specific, and the community that we're building on. And what I pick up on intuitively through my own sacred heart energy as to what feels like is happening right now. So this full moon, which is in Gemini, is also has a combination of energy with the Mars retrograde, because we're still in this Mars retrograde that's going to be in retrograde until of January 12th, I believe, of 2023. And we also have the planet of Mars that is in the zodiac sign of Gemini, and that entered into that sign in August sometime, and that's going to continue until March of 2023. So it's important to know these planets, and I just mentioned them because it also ties in with a lot of the energies that we're feeling at this time. And, you know, this month of December has been accelerating a lot. So it's been a mixture of energies. And when you add these other energies of the planets, it also brings in more of this this mixture. So it's like a blending mixture of energies. And then we have, you know, nearby around the corner, we have this 12-12 portal activation of, you know, that I still feel that the full moon energy will have its effects and power with that combination of energy. So it peaks, the full moon energy peaks on December 7th, and doesn't mean that it will just end there, because the effects can last another few days or so of the full moon energy. And so I will be creating another video. There'll be a guided meditation to include some of the full moon energy, but it's also going to have the 12-12 portal activation. So make sure that you are subscribed so that you know when it drops in, when the video drops in. So that way you're notified of that. And towards the end of the video, don't go away. After I share the 5 themes, I also want to share a mini oracle card reading from the Divine Feminine Oracle card deck to express the theme of this full moon energy as well. And so just to know a little bit about, you know, the planets, like Mars. Mars is a mixture of, you know, of certain energies that in all the planets, just so you know, have light and shadow to them. And so from the positive side of the Mars, or the light side of the Mars, is that it brings this warrior aspect of this action taking strategy. And then on the other side, the shadow part of it is this outburst of like, or conflict, and So it can be like this really intense, like conflicting type, combative, type energy. But remember, we all have like shadow and light, so it's all about a balance of those two. And so I feel like with this full moon energy, it may bring up some of those outbursts. And that is, another way to release. But of course, just be conscious of them if they do come up in frustration. But there could be other signs and layers within yourself that are just starting to come out. It's almost like throwing up these emotions and these old patterns that are within ourselves. And so it could come out like an outburst. And so the part that I emphasize a lot, that I feel, is because since it's in retrograde, it's about also reviewing the actions that we have taken in our life and where that's led us into. So when a planet is in retrograde, it's really about a review. So it's a perfect combination of energies because this full moon energy, which is in Gemini, and Gemini is about the communications, it's about choices. And for me, it just feels like this turning point in our life, in our story. You think about it, because we're all on this journey. So we all have our own story, that where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. And so that's, the story of our life. And so this Mars energy offers that opportunity to review all those areas in our life where we have made certain choices and taken action, and what have been the consequences of those actions, and are these things that we want to continue with in our life, or do we want to take a different turn in our life for a new chapter. And so that's what this full moon energy comes in to support, with the energy of letting go of the things that we want to complete the cycle. We want to conclude that chapter, be done with that chapter, and move on to the new chapter that is unfolding for you, which can also be like a new calling or a new adventure into another area that may seem that's exciting, but at the same time there may be a lot of unknowns, so that part can be a little scary. But knowing though that it is about trusting our intuition. So jumping into these themes for the full moon energy is that the first one that I kind of talked about is call to make a new decision. So during this full moon, we're, feeling this calling of making certain decisions. And so that's where Mars retrograde falls into play, is to help us review the lessons learned that we've had from our past lives, and the choices that we've made, and our experiences that we had. And it's any kind of experience, whether that's the happy experiences or the moments of really sad experiences or shocking experiences in our life. And just taking all of that review and looking at it from a visionary standpoint of where that decision is leading and how that aligns to your soul and that choice that you're making. And I say soul, I mean like your soul purpose, your mission. And we have many levels and different levels of purposes within us. And the number two thing is that there's usually an increase of sensitivity and awareness. So I feel like there's a lot more sensitivity and awareness that's increased with this full moon. And part of it because being of Gemini is the air sign. And so there is, this increase in awareness, because Gemini is also about the intelligence. And in that intelligence comes this awareness. And so it's just paying close attention to certain patterns in our life that we feel that we have been repeating over and over again. And it's time to really conclude on that pattern, complete that cycle, and renew it with another cycle that is healthier in your life. And I'm talking about like patterns that have been unhealthy. And it could be just a matter of like food, for instance, like just eating and eating the emotions, let's just say, when, things don't go well, and we get a bit emotional about it. And so in some cases, some people will go towards food to eat their emotions. And so that's just an example. So healthier way of like replacing that is to just be aware of it for one, and coming up with a action plan using the Mars energy, right, to help redirect in the new, like, healthier pattern, healthier habit. And number 3 is the review of life, to let go of things that no longer serve. So like this dismantling to just be like lighter. So like if you're setting an intention to be more free and lighter, is not holding on to certain baggages. And so this, includes like the mental, the physical, the emotional things that have been weighing down on us. And so taking that time to like really review your life your life up to this point. And so there's the aspect of the communication and being very clear on when you're writing these, reviews of yourself, and really, taking the time to be aware of them, being honest with yourself, and reviewing all those aspects. Like, for example, like in the mental, have there been certain words, certain sentences, certain phrases that have been coming up, so much repetitive, that have been putting you down, that have been making you feel bad, or just thinking about past lives trauma or grief, or things that have been in the past, and then when you get triggered by it, it just brings up those memories again. So reviewing all those things, and also reviewing the emotions that come up with that. In the physical, it could be, the body, but it could also be things in your house. Like, for example, me, I've been cleaning up a lot of things in my house, so there's a bit of feng shui. So getting rid of junk, literally junk, that is taking up space, and creating this space, right? Because also, like, when we do this in our house, when we clean up space, we create this more expansive energy, and it just feels lighter. It feels like the energy can flow much easier. And so the same thing is happening with us within ourselves when we evaluate all those patterns that have been unhealthy in us, that have been so repetitive. And so when we start to like release those cycles or dismantle those cycles, we start to create a more flowy energy within ourselves that is harmonized with the universe. And we just become energetically lighter, because that is what's happening with these new energies of this anchoring the golden age, is that we're becoming more light bodies, like literally light bodies. Our cells are being infused with more light and energy and frequency of the universe that is of higher dimensional crystalline type energy, and that we are being infused with, because like I said, we are multidimensional. And so we have the ability to keep on expanding. But again, it goes back to the choices that we make and how we are honest with ourselves when we make these reviews. And how, all the impacts that we've had with the people around our lives. And have those impacts been, you know, supportive and helpful with others in some way, or healthier in that way. And so just being mindful of that, and being heartful of that as well, because it's now time for us to really bring in the heart and the mind together. And so the heart, is always emphasized, because that is the key to the ascension, but it also brings in the other components of our bodies to increase our intuition and our trust in ourselves. So the number 4 thing is to look at different perspectives. So we are like based on our experience and our expansiveness, that is also increasing and expanding our perspective. So looking at things from a different point of view. And that's what also builds on the compassion, the compassionate heart, is to look at things in a very different light. It may not be necessarily in the way that we may be interpreting, but there's always another side to look at, another angle to things. And that's also part of the creative energy that we have, is looking at different creative solutions in our life, because there's infinite amounts of solutions. And so the fifth thing is to that we are preparing for. This full moon is preparing us for the big activations that are upcoming, which is the 12/12 portal activation and the solstice energy of December 21st, which is, the winter and summer solstice. So depending which hemisphere you're in. And then, jumping into this quantum year, into the 2023 year. So setting those big intentions for that. So the more that we can let go now for this full moon, as we end and conclude this 2022, the lighter that we want to be for the new energies of 2023. So take advantage of this energy. And so now I want to jump into this mini oracle card reading. And before I jump in, though, just a quick announcement that I will be having the Circle of Quantum Conscious Creators in combination with the solstice portal activation on December 21st, which is when the solstice peaks energy, but it's also near the new moon energy. So the Circle of Quantum Conscious Creators is the new moon circle that I have been doing like almost every month. And so this is going to be the last new moon of the year. And it's going to be a super powerful one, because we're also going to be setting intentions for the new year of 2023. And so it's going to be so powerful, because it's going to prepare us for these new energies for the year. So I hope that you can join us, and I look forward to connecting with you in that way. You can find all the description information in the YouTube video on this, new moon energy and the circle and the solstice power activation. So I pulled a card from the Divine Feminine Oracle cards. I feel like it was appropriate message from the whole Divine Feminine energy that we've all been going through, of the rising of Divine Feminine. We see a lot of, changes around the world, and some of them have been very shocking. But part of it is also like revelations of things that happen there behind the scenes, and they're just becoming more coming up to the surface because they need to be released. And so it will appear as being chaotic. But we need to see the truth come out in light in order for the change to come in our life. And so the same applies to each and every one of us individually. So that is the power of the Divine Feminine energy. And Divine Feminine energy is inclusive of everything and everyone. And so it also sparks this rebirth of this Divine Masculine energy. So I feel like we will be restructuring our new earth based on the structures of the Divine Masculine energy. And so that's the part of the action, which I feel is also linked in with the Mars energy as well. And so the card that came up, one of my favorites, is Joan of Arc, of course, is what it says, the Warrior of Light. And I feel like this ties in with the Mars energy, because it feels like this warrior of lights and this bit of like rebels, the rebels who see things from a different perspective and know that we are wanting to be in these new frequencies of the earth, which means having more freedom of being able to express ourselves how we want to express ourselves, of our soul divine beings that we are, multidimensional, and being in this creative mode. And so that's what, Joan of Arc is reminding us, to not give up and have the strength, the courage within us to make the changes and the choices in our life, as we progress in this ascension journey. So if this video was helpful, please click like and share with others and subscribe for more videos like this. And I look forward to connecting with you very soon. Sending you all so much love. Bye for now.